Hello, thanks for joining us on TVC News this morning. We begin with development in Kano State, where residents will be going to the polls to elect leaders at the local government level. Meanwhile, the Federal High Court in the state has sacked all 44 chairmanship and councillorship candidates of the New Nigeria People's Party for Saturday's local government elections. The ruling was delivered on Friday by Justice Simon Amobeda following a case filed by Mohammed Babayo and a faction of the NNPP against the party's leadership. The justice ruled that the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission should accept a new list of candidates submitted by the faction led by the recognized state chairman, Dalatu Shehu Usman, in accordance with the party's constitution. He further instructed that CANSEC recognize the list of candidates submitted by the plaintiffs. The case listed the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Inspector General of Police, and the Director of the Department of State Services as the defendants. And still in Kano State, the High Court has directed the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission to proceed with the local government election scheduled for Saturday. Justice Sanusi Mahaji of the Kano State High Court issued the order following a case filed by the State Electoral Commission against the All Progressives Congress and 13 others. TVC News senior reporter Ibrahim Isa reports.
With less than 24 hours until Saturday, October 26, 2024, the Kano Independent Electoral Commission (CANSEC) is set to conduct local government elections across the state. However, the elections are steeped in controversy. The Federal High Court halted the elections, ruling CANSEC's setup under Governor Yusuf as illegal, but the Kano State High Court has now allowed the polls to proceed. Justice Sanusi Mahaji gave the directive in a case filed by CANSEC against the APC and other parties.
And this court has just delivered its own judgment, and the judgment was well-sounded. And it has also ordered that the election should continue to hold, and also the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission has the jurisdiction.
We are not arguing about the functions and duties of the plaintiff, but we are saying that the composition and constitution of the plaintiff was done in contravention of the provisions of the Constitution and provisions of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission laws 2001. This is what we are saying before the court.
Following the High Court's ruling, the Kano Independent Electoral Commission announced its commitment to proceed with the local council election as planned.
Nobody, or no any political party, or no any association that can stop CANSEC from conducting this election.
As the day of the election approaches, residents and stakeholders alike remain hopeful for a peaceful voting process. Ibrahim Isa, TVC News, Kano.
Meanwhile, the Kano State government has imposed a movement restriction across the state from midnight to 6 p.m. on Saturday, the 26th of October, ahead of the state local government election. In a statement released on Friday, the Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Baba Datie, called on the public to adhere to these instructions to help ensure the integrity and safety of the electoral process. The statement further explains that the restriction order was implemented in consultation with security agencies. Meanwhile, the gains recorded in the last 6 months by troops of Operation Safe Haven in their peace mission across troubled states in Plateau have been commended by President Bola Tinubu. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru extended the president's commendation to the troops in just Plateau State. Senior reporter Funov Joshua has details.
Are we ready to end the security of Plateau?
Yes, sir!
Are we?
Yes, sir!
The gallant efforts of troops of Operation Safe Haven in restoring peace and normalcy across communities bedeviled by insecurity in Plateau State have continued to receive commendations. The latest applause is from President Bola Tinubu. The recent efforts of the troops led to the arrest of suspected notorious bandits, kidnappers, gun runners, illegal weapons manufacturing facilities, and also the recovery of several arms and ammunition within its areas of operation. The new measures and tactics introduced by the GOC 3rd Armored Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven Major General Abdusalam Abubakar in the fight against insecurity in the state have helped in restoring normalcy across affected communities. The visit of the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, to the troops in Jos is to convey President Bola Tinubu's appreciation and commendation for their selfless service to the nation.
My mission is simple: to thank you for the effort you are putting in returning normalcy to Plateau State, and to tell you to do more.
In an interactive session with journalists, the minister again commends the leadership of Operation Safe Haven for the measures put in place that brought in the successes witnessed in the areas.
The GOC has been doing wonderfully well in that direction, and we only have to encourage them to do more and to talk more to the community so that they will see reason to really shelve their swords, and let peace reign in the plateau.
While the troops were commended, the president is asking them to sustain the tempo in seeing the end of insecurity in Plateau State. Funom Joshua, TVC News, Jos.
Away from security matters, health workers have declared a 7-day strike to press home their demand for improved welfare. The Joint Health Sector Unions says it will commence an indefinite industrial action after 7 days if the government fails to meet their demands. TVC News correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
4 categories of health workers' unions make up the Joint Health Sector Unions and Assembly of Healthcare Professionals. They are the Medical and Health Workers Union, Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals, Senior Staff Association of Universities, Teaching Hospitals, Research Institutes and Associated Institutions, as well as the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions. In June, the union suspended an industrial action after the intervention of President Bola Tinubu. 4 months later, health workers say their demands remain unmet. They have now declared a 7-day strike, which will impact on patients accessing health care across government hospitals.
With effect from midnight of today, 25th October 2024, in the federal health institutions shall embark on 7 days strike action to resolve matters affecting the welfare and working conditions of members. We shall therefore keep all our channels of communication open during this period of 7 days warning strike. We urge the consumers of healthcare and well-meaning Nigerians to empathize with us and also give solidarity to this struggle, which is aimed at making healthcare delivery effective, accessible and affordable in the country.
An indefinite strike will be declared if the government does not meet up the workers' expectations after 1 week.
If at the end of the 7 days warning strike, the federal government fails to meet our demands, Jehesu have no other option than to embark on an indefinite strike action. Nigerians should note that this action could have been avoided if the federal government had within the windows of the 15 days notice of strike or ultimatum was responded by utilizing all options available in the relevant provisions of the Trade Dispute Act, Cap T8 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to apprehend this dispute of right.
Among their demands are immediate implementation of CONHES adjustment, suspension of planned establishment and activities of National Health Facility Regulatory Agency, and immediate payment of COVID-19 inducement hazard allowances to omitted health workers. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.